I didn't hear an apology tonight. Is there a reason that word moment was used instead of mistake? Are any staff members on paid leave?
Now at 7, a lack of response and no apologies after police arrested 2 high school students in Longview on rape charges. We were there at a packed school board meeting with some calling for administrators to resign.
Plus, Portlanders on vacation in Mexico now stuck there after the Mexican government killed a drug cartel leader. We hear from 2 tourists trapped inside Mexico what it's like right now as they try to figure out their way home.
And tonight, President Trump is expected to give his State of the Union address. Which local leaders will and will not be in attendance coming up at 7:30. Sunrise streaming live at 7 starts right now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 7 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And I'm Matthew Herchick. Glad to have you with us on this Tuesday morning. Rod Hill and Chris McGinnis standing by with a look at the weather and traffic.
Hey, quite a bit drier today. Still rain jacket weather. But remember yesterday, the big story was steady rain. Turned out to be over an inch. Today, the story is, and you can already see it on radar, scattered, mostly light showers as the steady rain fetch has broken up here on the west side. It is overcast out there, and again, driving in, you'll probably have to flip your windshield wipers on from time to time if you're going to be driving any distance whatsoever. In fact, some rain in Salem right now, 42. There are the low clouds, so kissing the west hills, so a little foggy up in elevation. 41 degrees is the temperature. 46 anew. We might get up to 50. Wind direction today will be west-northwest. Again, mostly scattered light rain showers today. Here's Chris.
That should be easy to take after an inch plus of rain, right? Let's get you down to the south. I do have a traffic alert right now in Marion County. I want to zoom in. I-5 northbound near Arndt Road or near the Donald area. We've got a crash that's got one lane blocked, and traffic now is backing up towards Woodburn. This is a snapshot near Woodburn. You can see that northbound commute starting to line up a bit. So give yourself some extra time getting in from Marion County. The drive in from Salem has jumped up to 70 minutes and is building here at last check. Okay, 65 to 70. So maybe we're starting to see some clearing. In any event, extra time needed on that northbound I-5 drive through Marion County. Locally, the freeway drive is wet. We've got our normal slow spots, but nothing jumping off the page here just yet. So that's good from that perspective. And I also want to let folks out in Hood River know because of some inclement weather in the Hood River Valley, we've got a 2-hour delay for the Hood River School District today. China, Matthew, back to you.
Thank you, Chris. Parents in Longview are calling for administrators to resign over rape allegations at Mark Morris High School.
It comes after 2 members of the boys basketball team were arrested and accused of sexually assaulting their younger teammates. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us now. Thomas, district leaders have been very limited on what they're saying about this.
Yeah, look, guys, very quiet. At yesterday's school board meeting, those district leaders never apologized or said they made a mistake after 2 teens were arrested last week. Those arrests only happened after parents got police involved weeks after the district had learned about these incidents. Longview police now say that they're investigating both the school district and Mark Morris High School for possibly violating their mandatory reporting duties. Court documents allege a 16 and 17-year-old basketball player sexually assaulted younger students for months. Victims told investigators they were dragged into a dark team room and then held against their will. According to police reports, school staff and administrators knew about the accusations 2 weeks before a parent went to police, triggering that criminal investigation. At last night's school board meeting, parents didn't hold back.
The police should have been immediately brought in. This never should have been an internal investigation at all.
If you fail to step down, this will not go away. The parents of this district are done tolerating your antics, protecting public image over children.
On February 7th, Principal Aaron Whitwright sent a letter to parents criticizing what he called false rumors and speculation. He said the district had already investigated a report and given appropriate consequences. That response outraged students who protested the inaction. Last night, district leaders didn't apologize, though they did say they are committed to the police investigation.
I know some families have said the situation has damaged their trust in the district. That's deeply concerning to me. I know trust is earned through consistent actions, not just words.
Now, once the police investigation is complete, the superintendent says that an outside investigator will then review the school district's practices. Matthew, China.
Our Thomas Schultz reporting live. Thank you, Thomas. And a reminder, if you or someone you know is a survivor of sexual assault, know that help is always available 24/7. You can call the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-4673.
Meanwhile, in Rainier, a former junior-senior high school principal was sentenced Monday to 5 years in prison for possessing images of child sexual abuse. Jeremy Williams was arrested in September after investigators say they found social media accounts linked to Williams sending and receiving child sex abuse material. Williams will now have to register as a sex offender.
An SUV driver has died after a crash with a school bus. This was in West Salem on Highway 22 at around 10 o'clock Monday morning. State police tell us that the bus driver with the Salem-Keizer district and one student were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Around 60 high school students were on a field trip at the time on their way to Western Oregon University. The students returned to school and counselors were on hand. No word yet on the cause of the crash.
Over on Swan Island, a crash involving two vehicles sent 3 people to the hospital, including one person who had to be taken to the trauma center with critical life-threatening injuries. Portland Fire and Rescue posted these pictures on X showing what the scene looked like. It happened yesterday around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They say the 2 other people were taken to the hospital. They only suffered minor injuries. The current condition of the third person is not known at this time.
McMinnville police say a hit-and-run investigation Friday morning turned into 2 pursuits and a drug arrest. Officers found a man near Southwest Old Sheridan Road passed out behind the wheel with drug paraphernalia in plain view. Police say that the driver, Ian Kavoda, took off leading deputies on 2 pursuits along Highway 18 before spike strips brought the chase to an end in a field on Norton Lane. Officers seized more than 100 fentanyl pills, meth, and other drugs. Kavoda is facing multiple felony charges.
In Clackamas County, a judge sentenced the man to 25 years in prison for murdering a mail carrier. 2 years ago, 53-year-old Chad Westover stabbed Tristan Thomas at a Southeast Portland apartment following what prosecutors say was a dispute between Thomas and Westover's cousin over a parking spot. Westover's attorney still argues his client was acting in self-defense.
A Crystal store in the Selwood neighborhood has been burglarized for the second time in less than a month. Surveillance video from Soulful PDX shows the thief come right in the front door, then start grabbing items like jewelry. This is the same store that lost thousands of dollars worth of goods during a January burglary, with thieves breaking into other neighborhood spots around the same time. Police are looking into potential connections among all the thefts. The owner of Soulful PDX is now offering a $500 reward for information that leads to an arrest.
Steady rain over the last few days may be to blame for this rock slide that blocked part of I-5 south of downtown Portland for several hours during the evening commute yesterday. The rocks fell in the southbound lanes near the Corbett overpass. ODOT says netting usually catches the rocks, but officials say these were larger than normal and the hillside was likely saturated.
Your time now is 7:08. Headed over to Rod Hill. A lot of green behind you there, sir.
Yeah, we had over an inch of rain, by the way, that came down yesterday. And of course, it was day 3 of a rainy pattern going back to Saturday. Yesterday was the wettest of the bunch, as we thought it would be. In fact, 1.08 out of PDX, a record for the date. Here's what we have right now. China mentioned the rain. All of our state picking up some moisture in proximity. The big story here on the west side is the steady rain push is over. This is scattered, mostly light rain showers feeding in. Still cloudy and a low cloud deck. Chinook Winds Casino Resort out in Lincoln City showing 45 degrees. Here are the low clouds. That's a little bit of fog touching the ground from the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club out in Aloha. Temperature 41. Our numbers are pretty uniform across the area this morning. For the most part, everybody's within a few degrees of 40. It is 40 degrees in West Lynn at this hour. 38 at 1,000 feet up in Happy Valley. Estacada's at 38. There's Salem, Dallas, Aurora, McMinnville, Albany, all at 42. All right, weather map for today. Precip chances statewide, but it's scattered, mostly lighter rain amounts. I mean, by light, I mean could be only 1/10 of an inch in Portland today, for example. Snow level up over the Cascades at pass level, 5,000 feet. Those passes are just wet, showing bare pavement at this hour. 7-day forecast. 50 degrees today. Once we get rid of today, there's only a spotty shower threat tomorrow, which means mainly dry. I'm watching a rain chance Thursday night, Friday morning that may hold to our north. So we're getting ready to open up a lot of dry weather. The weekend, I still have mostly sunny skies both days. 52 Saturday and 54 degrees on Sunday. Here's Chris.
Rod, thank you. The drive's starting to get a little busy and active with a couple of trouble spots out there. We'll pick it up with traffic alert number 1 here. It looks like we've got a crash on the ramp from 405 south to I-5 north. So this is right on the southwest side of town. There you can see one ambulance going by and traffic trickling by in the right lane. Again, this is the transition from 405 south to I-5 north heading up towards the Markham Bridge. So traffic is definitely starting to bunch up right around that. Also on the Sylvan Hill, we actually just had a fender bender here that cleared, but you can see traffic still running a little thick. So we put those together, and the drive-in from Hillsborough has jumped up to about 21 minutes at last check. Also, south of town, down near Aurora, we had a crash on the freeway near Donald, and northbound I-5 is running really slow right now between Woodburn and Wilsonville. That drive-in from Salem at last check, it's almost an hour now from Market Street in Salem up to I-405. And last but not least, out in the upper Hood River Valley, let's take you out to Parkdale. That's Highway 35, right? A little snowy out there. The Hood River School District this morning on a 2-hour delay because of inclement weather. China, Matthew, back to you.
Thank you, Chris. Still to come on Sunrise, neighbors and government workers in the Northeast digging out from a massive snowstorm. Which services are resuming and how it's impacting our local flights here. Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues in 2 minutes.
I'm Matthew Herchick, new morning anchor at KGW. I'm a huge sports fan, and I know I might be from the Buckeye State, but I'm excited to explore what the Rose City has to offer. I want to make sure you're prepared for the day, whether it's bringing you breaking news or sharing those inspirational stories that make you smile. We've got you covered. Because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to Portland's #1 streaming newscast, Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
In the Northeast, millions are trying to dig out from a powerful snowstorm, knocking out power and creating whiteout conditions. This morning, public transit systems across parts of the Northeast are beginning to restore limited service.
Boston Public Schools remain closed today, while New York City will welcome students back to class. CNN's Michael Yoshida is in Boston with the latest developments.
The cleanup just getting started following a record-breaking winter storm. Heavy wet snow and strong winds hammered communities across the Northeast. State and local leaders across the Northeast are telling communities the danger from this severe snowstorm is not over.
Bottom line, stay off the roads. We're going to have to be patient. This is going to continue, it looks like, for a little while longer.
Monday, Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey issued a travel ban of non-essential vehicles for several counties in the southeastern part of the state.
We needed to do this because this is a particularly hard-hit area. We need to have the ability for all essential vehicle travel to be able to go through. We also have reports of abandoned trucks and cars, stuck vehicles on roads around Massachusetts. Again, this is a reason we just don't want you out there, because it creates burden on our first responders.
It's the biggest winter storm in years for cities like Philadelphia and New York. Monday afternoon, New York's mayor pleaded with people to stay safe.
This snow is exceptionally wet and heavy. Your health comes first.
The system also dumped record-breaking snow in Rhode Island.
The blizzard of 26 has now officially surpassed the blizzard of 78 for the most snow ever recorded in a single snowstorm in our Rhode Island state history.
Extreme winds combined with the heavy wet snow have caused electrical outages across the region. Crews are working around the clock to restore power to every home. And as conditions continue to improve, those utility crews, they'll be able to get more work done on those power restorations. Still elected officials, as well as those utility companies asking for patience, saying in some of the hardest hit areas, it could potentially take several days to get all of the lights back on. Reporting in Boston, I'm Michael Yoshida.
Meanwhile, a quick check-in on the status of flights over at Portland's airport. FlyPDX reports 1 cancellation and 29 delays for incoming flights. 1 cancellation and 3 delays for those departing. So certainly check your flights before heading to PDX today.
What a winter they've had. Generally, anywhere east of the Rockies, there's been 2 highways, if you will, of cold weather outbreaks. One of them has been coming down near the Rockies and off to the east. They've had cold outbreaks down through the Midwest and Texas. And then about as many storms have shot the cold weather down right toward the Great Lakes and into New England and the Northeast, which is what this last one did. And through it all, we've been suffering from, more than half of our winter had high snow levels. We expected some of that cold air to come down all the way to the west coast out of Canada, and it's just never happened. It's all been slightly shifted to our east. Yesterday, we did get some pretty hefty rain totals in our own right. These were all records for the calendar day. PDX put over 1 inch in the rain bucket. Salem 1.37. Notice the amounts are higher as you drop to South Eugene. Just yesterday alone had 2.35. Again, all 3 cities reporting records for the day. Now, if you go back the last 2 days, last 48 hours, North Bend over 4, Eugene over 3, Newport over 2.5, Salem approaching 2, and Portland just shy of 1 3/4. Vancouver 1.76, and then Kelso quite a bit less, 87/100. And by the time you move to north, again, the higher amounts have been to the south. Seattle has picked up just over ½ of an inch of rain again over the last 2 days. The good news is, again, going all the way back to when we mentioned this Friday of last week, we would get through all this with no concerns of river flooding, in large part because it just hasn't been that cold up on the Cascades, so snow level has been limited, and we have been losing snow in the Coast Range, but yesterday was the only day that's really produced any heavier rain totals. So we're okay. Big low offshore is weakening. It's dropped south. It's pushed farther back out to sea. The moisture fetch feeding up into our area is starting to thin out. This is scattered light showers on the west side, and then precip areas really across our state. Snow levels up in the high country are setting at 5,000 feet. Santiam, Willamette, government camp passes, all showing wet and for the most part clean pavement. 37 out in the Dalles, cloudy and foggy. Pretty similar to what we're dealing with here in the valley. Low clouds from the Chehalem tasting room out in Sherwood, and 41. Not much wind. The wind direction today is west-northwest, but pretty light. 42 Kelso, 41 Portland, 42 Salem, 41 Eugene. All right, that's uniform. And just a couple degrees cooler over in Central Oregon this morning. Bend is at 39. Rain potential for today. Now remember yesterday we had over 1 inch. Compare that to today. If the modeling is right, Portland will get 0.09 with hardly any rain at all this afternoon. If the modeling is exactly right, it does show about 1/4 of an inch of rain down in Corvallis and Eugene. So clearly a big switch from yesterday's steady rain that was coming down. 47 in Salem today. Northwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Cloudy, we'll call it mostly light showers. Similar forecast up in southwest Washington. Again, if the modeling is right, from Multnomah County northward, we don't get much rain this afternoon at all. We'll see. We've got a spotty shower chance tomorrow, which is code for mainly dry. I'm watching a system Thursday night, Friday morning that it might keep the rain to our north. So if that's the case, then once we get through today, we're pretty dry all the way into the weekend. The weekend forecast right now is mostly sunny skies both days. All right, here's Chris McGinnis.
Rod, thank you. We get back to that traffic alert on the west side. I-405 southbound, not there. That's the Sunset actually running a little slow, but wait for it. There we go. Let's zoom in real quick. So we've got a crash on the ramp from 405 south to I-5 north. It's right near the ramp that takes you up to the Markham Bridge. So it looks like traffic is slowing around that. Although, just judging by the emergency response here, it looks like some of the responders have already cleared the scene. So we'll take that as a good sign that hopefully this will be clearing soon. But there's the Sunset out into the Jefferson exit ramp, so that's backing up a little bit. The drive time in from Hillsborough up to about 22 minutes. Not bad, but we'll keep our eyes on that. That trouble near the Markham Bridge could continue to back things up a little bit. I-5 south of town, so ODOT reporting a crash near Donald, and that's got traffic running pretty thick back towards the Woodburn area. So the drive through Marion County northbound is a little extra busy this morning. About 55 minutes or so gets you from Salem to the Markham Bridge. China, back to you.
Thank you, Chris. Portlanders trapped in Mexico amid fallout of the death of a drug cartel leader. Coming up in 2 minutes, what they are experiencing there as they try to make their way back home. Don't go anywhere. Sunrise continues after this.
Hi, I'm Christine Padawanich. I'm a journalist at KGW, and I love exploring Portland's amazing food scene. New spot? I'm there. So I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still, it moves. It moves you to act, to vote, to volunteer, to speak up, or to lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the good stuff that stays with you wherever you are. And at KGW, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Portland.
We were all saying how we were wanting to stay another day, and then we were forced to stay another day, and we really just can't wait to get home.
Some Portlanders on vacation in Mexico are now stuck there amid fallout from the killing of a drug cartel leader. The U.S. State Department has warned U.S. citizens in spots like Puerto Vallarta and Guadalajara to shelter in place, and many flights have been canceled.
This comes after the Mexican military carried out the attack on the leader known as El Mencho on Sunday. Since then, the military has been in gun battles with other cartel members who have also blocked roads and set vehicles on fire. We spoke with two Portlanders who were on vacation in the area. One of them said as soon as he heard the news, his first thought was to stock up on water.
It quickly became apparent that things were intense. The grocery store was packed. I mean, it's not even a grocery store, it's a bodega. There was probably room for 30 people, and there were 100 people in there.
I think when the booms get closer to you and you start seeing all the fires getting closer and closer, you get a little more anxiety. But things have really quieted down this morning, so it's definitely feeling much better.
Now, neither knows when they're going to be able to leave and get back home. The White House has confirmed U.S. provided intelligence to help in the operation that took down El Mencho. The U.S. has labeled the cartel a terrorist organization.
The reward to bring Nancy Guthrie home is now sitting at $1 million. Savannah Guthrie taking to social media saying she still has hope in finding her mother.
So this comes alongside new questions in Nancy's disappearance after sources told NBC News that one of the images of the potential suspect was not taken the morning of her disappearance. So the image from outside Guthrie's Arizona home shows a person dressed in dark clothing with masks and gloves. But unlike other images released by the FBI, this one shows the person without a backpack. An FBI spokesperson declined to comment on the possible dates of the image or whether this is the same person seen in other security video. The Pima County Sheriff's Department says there's no date or timestamp associated with the image, adding that any suggestion that it was taken on a different day is purely speculation.
Please continue to defend the European way of life. Please support Ukraine. Please support our diplomacy for peace and be effective. Every result you achieve is a lie in that. Putin cannot cross. Thank you for all these years. Thank you so much. Slava Ukraini.
That was Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky sending a message of strength to the country this morning on the 4-year anniversary of when Russian forces at the direction of President Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine. Today, the war is still going on. Early estimates place the number of people injured and killed in Ukraine as high as 600,000 and 1.2 million for Russia. Today, the capital city of Kyiv and every other city in the country held a moment of silence for those lost in conflict.
Well, tributes are being planned nationwide to honor the life of Reverend Jackson. In his home state of South Carolina, Jackson will lie in state Monday at the South Carolina State House. Memorial events are also planned in Washington, D.C. Before that, he will lie at Rainbow Push Coalition headquarters in Chicago, the organization that he founded. Jackson died February 17th at the age of 84 after battling a rare neurological disorder. A public service is set for March 6th in Chicago.
Coming up in our next half-hour, transportation tax turmoil as Senate Democrats push to put the transportation bill up for a vote on the May ballot. Why Republicans say the move is violating the petition that nearly 250,000 of Oregonians signed. Plus, FedEx becoming the first company to request a refund on the tariffs it paid after the Supreme Court ruled President Trump's tariffs illegal. More on that coming up in your consumer headlines when Sunrise continues right after this.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
I'm Trina Green, a morning anchor at KGW and new dog mom to this sweet guy. Meet Barry. I love getting your mornings off to a great start, whether it's sharing stories of resilience and triumph in our community, or following breaking news from Beaverton to Gresham and everywhere in between. We've got you covered, because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to KGW Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
We are coming up on 7:29 on your Tuesday morning commute. We start off with a TriMet alert just in from TriMet. Orange Line suffering delays upwards of 50 minutes because of an earlier mechanical issue near the Lombard Transit Center. We'll keep you posted on that for sure. Back to the freeway drive, we've got some trouble in Southwest Portland as well. I-405 southbound, the ramp up to I-5, so this is near the Markham Bridge. We're going to crash there that has one lane blocked, so traffic really slowing around that. That is starting to back up the inbound Sunset quite a bit now. We're up to nearly 30 minutes to get you in from Hillsborough. Rod?
Well, it's not as wet overall this morning. Thank you for that, Chris. Yesterday at this time, the rain was steady. Now we have broken areas or scattered, mostly light showers. It is overcast. This is our Seaside live camera this morning. They've got 11 inches of new snow up at Timberline. Snow level today is 5,000 feet. Passes aren't bad. And I noticed this. not sure if that's because of the rain yesterday, but course closed. Lewis River Golf Course up in Woodland. If you're going to be outdoors today, it is soggy still from yesterday's rain. It was over an inch, but today, as you look at forecast numbers, generally in the 40s. Portland could see as little as 1/10 of an inch of rain.
Good morning. We are taking a live look outside at the Vancouver waterfront right now. Some raindrops, looks like, on the camera, and very blue.
Yes.
Very blue out there.
Yes.
Not really the sky, but just like
the mood, perhaps?
Everything.
Do you think
the
it's
mood,
Literally.
the vibe. It's blue.
There was a lot of rain yesterday, Rob. I'm not gonna lie.
It never stopped.
that
I thought, in all fairness, he's lying. The man's
that
not
was
saying
our
it's gonna
big
always happen.
overwhelming headline yesterday, that it wouldn't stop at 1.08 in Portland. By the time you got down to Eugene, which was a record, by the time it got down to Eugene, they had over 2 inches,
Wow.
which is a record for them. Now today, here's the radar. It kind of speaks for itself. Instead of steady moisture, we're already broken into these scattered areas of precipitation, and it's mostly light, still coming off the coast and moving generally to the east-northeast. Weather models, if they're correct, gives Portland and Southwest Washington scattered showers this morning and then basically no rain this afternoon with everything moving to our south. I'm not exactly buying that, but I do buy the fact that we're going to have maybe as little as 1/10 of an inch of total rain out of PDX today as opposed to that 1.08 we had yesterday. Cameras are overcast with some showers in the area. That was Salem Live. Here's the Rose City camera looking across the Willamette. We're at 42. 46 degrees at noon due to the lack of rainfall this afternoon. We might just get up to about 50 degrees for a high temperature. Snow level today, 5,000 feet. Here's Chris.
Thanks, Rod. We start with a TriMet alert. We'll get back to the drive times in just a second. TriMet, though, reporting some issues on the Max Orange line. Actually, a mechanical delay, they say, or a mechanical issue near the Lombard Transit Center. So with that, I'm not sure if this is a misprint, but it says 50-minute delays. That's a big deal. Not 15, but 50-minute delays on the Max Orange line through about 8:15. We'll keep you posted on that for sure. Back to the freeway drive, some trouble in Southwest Portland again. This is the ramp from 405 south to I-5 north near the Markham Bridge. You can see traffic still backing up around that as that left lane is blocked, and that is having an impact on the inbound Sunset. We're up to about 30 minutes now to get you in from Hillsborough. Also south of town in Marion County, an earlier crash in the Donald area. Looks like that's been cleared, but traffic is still running a little thick northbound out of Marion County. 52 minutes or so to get you in from Market Street to I-405. Matthew, China, back to you.
Chris, thank you. Major developments at the state capitol this morning. Democrats are one step closer to having you vote on an increase in taxes, including the gas tax, in May instead of November. Now, this goes back to last fall when Oregon lawmakers passed a series of fee hikes and tax increases to fund ODOT.
So Republicans collected enough signatures to get a referendum overturning many of those hikes on the ballot. Now, while they wanted to be on the November ballot when voter turnout is higher, Senate Democrats passed a bill Monday that moves up the timeline.
Nearly 250,000 Oregonians signed a petition that explicitly said November 3rd was the election date. Now, Senate Bill 1599 seeks to break that contract by truncating the process, collapsing the Supreme Court's review of the ballot title, and shredding the statutory framework for a robust public debate.
The sooner that we in this governing body can get explicit direction from the public, the sooner that we in the legislature can get to work on the difficult task of finding a long-term solution that protects and preserves our existing public infrastructure.
The House still needs to approve the plan.
Also yesterday, Republican representatives walked out of a House floor session. Republican leadership says that they did it to call attention to a colleague accused of creating a hostile work environment. That colleague, Representative Jason Kropf, a Democrat from Bend, is accused of intimidating another lawmaker into changing her vote on a firearms bill. Kropf has since resigned from the committee where that issue came up, but Republican leaders want the Legislative Equity Office to do a full investigation. Without the Republicans on the floor, the Speaker of the House, Julie Fahey, says the House wasn't able to vote on a single bill Monday.
I firmly believe it will save lives immediately. I believe if this had been in place when Christelle was targeted, she'd still be alive.
Meanwhile, Oregon lawmakers are largely getting behind a bill that would help protect survivors of stalking and domestic violence. The legislation honors a Colorado woman killed by her stalker in 2023. She documented each time the stalker contacted her and provided that evidence to investigators. Search warrants went out a month before her death, but companies in charge did not respond until it was too late.
In her case, the communications companies were the only ones that held the key to the identity of her true stalker and ultimately her killer. They were the only ones that could have told her that the call is quite literally coming from inside the house.
It turned out that stalker was her husband. Christiel's law would require social media companies to respond to search warrants in cases involving domestic violence or stalking within 72 hours, and all other communications companies within 5 business days. Last week, the House passed the bill with unanimous approval.
Still a little less than 2 weeks to go into Oregon's legislative session. Check out our website, kgw.com, for the latest update. We will also be tracking the key legislations on air and right here on KGW+.
Happening later today, President Donald Trump will give his State of the Union address, but many Oregon congressional delegates say they won't be there.
Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us from downtown Portland. Thomas, what else are Oregon Congress members saying about this?
Yeah, well, look, guys, both Oregon Senators Jeff Merkley and Ron Wyden tell us that they plan to skip the State of the Union today. In a statement, Senator Ron Wyden telling us, quote, "Sitting through Donald Trump's unhinged ramblings about his unconstitutional schemes does nothing to help Oregonians justifiably concerned about his attacks on the economy and the law, as well as his desperate diversions from the Epstein investigation." 3 Oregon representatives also plan to skip the speech. Congresswoman Maxine Dexter says she's sending an Epstein abuse survivor in her place, though Representative Janelle Bynum says she'll show up and bring with her a Clackamas Community College student to showcase the need for more opportunity for young people. Bynum says she will also attend to call the president out on what she calls his nonsense and demand him to take his job seriously. Here's what President Trump had to say yesterday about his upcoming speech.
We have a country that's now doing well. We have the greatest economy we've ever had. We have the most activity we've ever had. I'm making a speech tomorrow night, and you'll be hearing me say that. I mean, it's going to be a long speech because we have so much to talk about.
NBC plans to broadcast that speech. It'll be at 6 o'clock tonight. Of course, you can also catch it right here on KGW. Matthew, China.
Thomas, thank you. And remember that you can watch President Trump's State of the Union address right here on KGW, like Thomas just said. NBC's special coverage also set to begin at 6 o'clock. Well, Senate Democrats, led by Oregon Senator Ron Wyden, are rolling out a Tariff Refund Act of 2026 that they say will put some money back in people's pockets by refunding certain tariffs.
It's estimated that $175 billion in tariff revenue has been collected. The introduced act would require a full refund with interest of those funds by U.S. Customs and Border Protection. The CBP would have 180 days to reimburse U.S. companies, with small businesses and importers prioritized. This comes after the Supreme Court ruled that President Trump's imposed tariffs were unconstitutional in a 6-3 vote. Now, Senator Wyden said in part, quote, "Trump's illegal tax scheme has already done lasting damage to American families, small businesses, and manufacturers who have been hammered by wave after wave of new Trump tariffs. A crucial first step is helping people who need it most by putting money back in the pockets of small businesses and manufacturers as soon as possible." Meanwhile, Representative Janelle Bynum says she's running for re-election in Oregon's 5th congressional district. Last year, Bynum made history when she was sworn in as Oregon's first black member of Congress. Before winning her congressional seat, she served as a state legislator.
The city of Portland has appointed Brenda Alvarado as its first immigrant affairs lead, a new position focused on city outreach to immigrant communities. She's a longtime immigrant activist and will direct programs, policy recommendations, and partnerships aimed at connecting immigrants with city services and upholding Portland's existing sanctuary policies. Mayor Keith Wilson says Alvarado will play a central role as the city responds to federal immigration policies and enforcement.
7:39 now, taking a live look out at Timberline Lodge. Looks like, they still have quite a bit of snow over there, Rod.
Yes.
They'll be doing just all right.
They have more than 70 inches on the ground now.
Wow.
Again, you go back 2 weeks ago, they had 30-some inches on the ground. So that forecast that we started to talk about for the back half of February, building our snowpack, has come true. We're still only I actually haven't checked at the latest, but I'm assuming we're somewhere around 35% of normal for the snowpack. We're certainly still well below 50% to date. So we need more, we need more, we need more. Today, there won't be a whole lot up there. Snow level is 5,000 feet. It's wet at pass level, but snowing up at Timberline. Radar showing on the west side for Portland, Salem, Vancouver, Longview, Tillamook. It's scattered light rain showers. So we will not see the steady rain that we had yesterday. Now, everything is still wet, and we've had scattered showers moving across the area. There's the Oregon Zoo, 40 degrees. But if you're going to be out and about today, it will be a mix of dry and wet. And if the modeling is correct, Portland and to the north will actually see very little rain once we get into the afternoon. So mostly light showers this morning. 41 in Gresham, 41 in Hillsborough, and 41 in McMinnville. Salem's one better, 42, but Corvallis is 41. So there's not much variance in the temperature department. Look at what the modeling does. Less than a tenth of an inch of rain total today at the coast and in Portland. About a quarter of an inch when you get down to Corvallis and Eugene, where they picked up over 2 inches of rain yesterday alone in Eugene. And then you've got Mageable precip still across the state on this Tuesday. All right, here's Jasmine, Bearded Dragon. I think the second Bearded Dragon we've had on our show. Pet of the day at kgw.com. That's actually a nice smile there, I must say. Use that email address. Send us your pet's photo. We'll get them on the show. We have temperatures about 50 in parts of the valley, otherwise 40. Same thing at the coast, 52 in Bend, and then 40s out east today. Again, that snow level setting at 5,000 feet, 7-day numbers. Once we get rid of today, it's just a spotty shower chance tomorrow, and a chance of rain that may hold to our north Thursday night, Friday morning. So after we get through today, the 7 days really pretty dry, all dry, it looks to me, this upcoming weekend. Here's Chris.
That looks great. All right, Rod, thank you for that. We start off with an update or a reminder that TriMet alert. TriMet reporting delays of upwards of 50 minutes on the Max Orange line because of an earlier mechanical issue near Lombard Transit Center. So we'll keep you posted on that for sure. Back to the freeway drive. A correction, this crash on I-405 southbound is actually at the 6th Avenue exit ramp. So traffic's still able to get around just fine over to I-5 and the Markham Bridge, but we are slowing that exit to 6th Avenue, and that is backing up the inbound Sunset. It's pretty solid all the way back past the Sylvan Hill. This is the Canyon Road on-ramp to Highway 26 inbound. So we put all that together. We've got a 36-minute commute right now to get you in from Hillsborough. Running slow in the Banfield, of course, running slow out of Clark County still. I-5 over the Interstate Bridge, thick all the way down into the Rose Quarter. We've got 20 minutes to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. China, Matthew?
Thank you, Chris. Still to come on Sunrise, how you can score the best deals for that perfect spring break vacation. Your consumer headlines coming up. And Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues in just 2 minutes.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
In your consumer headlines, FedEx is suing the Trump administration over its now overturned tariff policy. The company filed a lawsuit Monday seeking a full refund of tariffs it paid under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. It's the first major corporate refund case since the Supreme Court's ruling last week. FedEx, which ships about 17 million packages a day worldwide, has said that the tariffs could cost the company up to $1 billion. The White House has not commented.
And in news you need to know, Krispy Kreme is teaming up with Oreo to launch 2 new donut flavors. Starting today, customers can buy the Krispy Kreme and Oreo cookie collection for a limited time. The new flavors include the Golden Oreo Donut and the Chocolate Oreo Dream Donut. The Oreo cookies and cream donut will also be available. The donuts will be sold individually in a 3-pack or as a dozen, and that includes the original glaze.
And if you are sick of the cold and are ready to get away for spring break, now might be the time to book that trip.
I just not want to eat too many of the donuts beforehand.
Yes.
You wait till after spring
Swimsuit
break.
ready.
That's right. Jen Sullivan has some tips on how you can save money and score some hot deals.
Are you tired of the snow and cold weather? It's not too late to book a spring getaway.
There are loads of places that still have availability and places that you can find great deals.
Emily Kaufman, known as the Travel Mom, says if you're looking for somewhere warm, all-inclusive resorts are great for families.
They're a great way to stick to a budget, and you get so much value. Your accommodations, your meals.
Looking for something adventurous like skiing? If you book at a Vail Resort, which are located at various ski towns, you can get $100 or more off per lift ticket if you book at least 4 weeks in advance.
That's a savings of 30%.
Kaufman recommends Keystone Resort for families. There's one located right outside of Breckenridge, Colorado. If you don't want to splurge on a long hotel stay, Kaufman says check out Resort Pass. They sell day passes to hotels and spas at more than 2,500 locations in the U.S., Caribbean, Mexico, and parts of South America. When you're planning your trip, check out the community's Convention and Visitors Bureau because they'll often advertise special deals on local activities. Kaufman says being flexible with your travel dates will help keep down the cost, but that can be tricky when you're tied to the school calendar.
Flights are going to be challenging because it's all about supply and demand.
Kaufman suggests checking alternate airports around your destination city because prices can fluctuate.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
I could use a spring break.
She basically reminded me that vacation is expensive. I don't know what the point of the story was, but that's what I got out of it. Vacation is expensive.
But less expensive than it could be.
Yeah, I mean, my husband and I are doing something complete opposite. I told him I have to go somewhere. We're going to Jackson Hole, which is freezing.
When are you doing that?
I've heard great things.
Around spring break. It was the cheapest weekend of the entire month. So we're like, yep, you'll do.
That's it.
That's where my brother, when he's a teenager, for whatever reason, that's where he fell into going skiing on spring break. Flippin' cold.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I want to get I want to go to a secondhand store and get a big fur coat, not a real fur coat because I can't afford that and I don't like that, but a big fur coat. I want to do the cowboy hat. I want to do the big cowboy boots. Like, I want to go all out. The whole
Have you been before or no?
No.
Well, you got to go. There's a bar there. I don't know the name of it, but they've got like saddles for the bar stools. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful area.
Doesn't really help that he doesn't know the name of it. So.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Well, no, but if you just walk around the square and ask somebody, they will know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's get you to our own mountain. Here's Timberline Lodge. That's stacked up, isn't it? Yeah, 31 degrees. Here's a ski report, and it's good. 74-inch base. I mean, you know, this time of the year it would be great to be over 100, but we're making progress. Meadows has 66, Ski Bowl 28. The updated report from Bachelor now a 52-inch base. New amounts are 11, 5, 8, and 10 over the past 24 hours. Now, the snow level today, you saw Timberline 31, not that cold, and it is above freezing at Government Camp 34, and it's just clean pavement. Snow level today should hold steady at 5,000 feet with mostly light scattered precip. So, I mean, it could be more of a steady precip, I guess, up in the Cascades potentially, but we expect these passes to just be wet during the daylight hours today, including Willamette Pass, 33 degrees. All right, the low that started this rainy pattern back on Saturday is weakened. It's dropped south. It's pushed farther back out to sea. The moisture fetch it's sending up into our area is starting to shift to the south, and what's coming into our area is starting to thin out. So, this is not going to be that wet of a day in terms of what's going to land in your rain gauge. For Portland, Salem, Longview, Tillamook, scattered light rain showers is what we have moving through the area right now. Models show most of today's rain showers here in Portland and Vancouver will actually be this morning and not so much this afternoon. Temperature is pretty uniform. 43 Newport, 42 Salem, Portland, Kelso, 37 out in the Dalles, 40 out in Baker City. Futurecast, here we are, 9 o'clock this morning. Scattered showers, mostly light. This kind of mimics what we just saw on the radar. But then notice I go into the afternoon and we start to dry out with the rain shifting to our south. Models give Eugene like a quarter of an inch of rain. Yesterday you had over 2 inches. So this is certainly not, I don't know, pick your word, deluge or just a steady rain that we had yesterday. This is Wednesday morning, tomorrow morning. I just want to show you, pop, pop, pop. You saw just a few little green spots. That's a spotty shower chance in tomorrow's forecast. But really mainly dry weather potentially tomorrow all the way into the weekend. Valley forecast for today. We keep the clouds. It's scattered, mostly light rain showers, upper 40s to about 50 degrees for a high. Similar setup in southwest Washington. Winds are northwest 5 to 15. Not much wind out in the gorge this morning. 7-day forecast, 50 today. Spotty shower chance tomorrow. Some sun breaks developing, which will feel nice. I'm still watching a system that the models insist the rain stays to our north Thursday night and Friday, but I'm not sure, so I'm including that rain chance. Other than that, the weekend still looks dry, mostly sunny. Chilly nights, but both days getting up into the 50s. Here's Chris.
That'd be awesome. All right, a couple of issues to pass along. First off, the Hood River School District, again, running on a 2-hour delay today because of some inclement weather. Meanwhile, now an update from TriMet, not only the yellow, but also, the orange, but the yellow line. So the yellow and orange line running on 50-minute delays we're hearing because of an earlier mechanical issue near Lombard Transit Center. Back to our freeway drive right now. Something's hanging up the drive on I-5 south of town here, rolling down towards and into the Twilliger curves. This is near the Hood Avenue on-ramp, and you can see that southbound I-5 commute pretty thick here. It looks like we've got some ODOT vehicles off in the distance there, some flashing lights. So in any event, that drive's starting to tighten up a little bit. Elsewhere in the system, of course, we are in full swing. Banfield's pretty slow coming in from the Gateway District. I-5 from Clark County, slow and steady over the Interstate Bridge. And right now, the slowest of our commutes is probably this one. 45 minutes now to get you in from Hillsborough. That's Highway 26 from Brookwood Parkway to I-405. We'll be right back.
I'm David Mulco, the evening anchor at KGW. Though when I'm not working, I like to spend as much time as possible out here in nature. So I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. You see, what happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still, it moves. It moves you to act, to vote, to volunteer, to talk about it, to speak up, or to lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at KGW, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Portland.
Well, it's been 1 year since the new Black Cultural Center opened at the Portland North Library. It's been a key addition to Multnomah County's revitalization of local libraries in the Albina neighborhood. KGW's Libby Dowsett went there to see how it's doing.
It's bubble time at the newly revitalized North Portland Library. Parents and toddlers gather round for some soapy fun. And right down the stairs, families will find the library's Black Cultural Center.
This has kind of become a highlight for the Black community, a space to give back. And I love giving tours in this room because people are always just kind of like awed. And I think this is the space that we have the most amount of art pieces in all at once.
Ace Brown is a Black cultural library advocate and teen and youth librarian here in North Portland.
I'm very passionate about my work. I'm very passionate about libraries. I'm very passionate about my community. I'm very passionate about my culture.
She says a big draw at the Black Cultural Center since it opened a year ago is the Black Pacific Northwest collection. It's entirely made up of Black authors or books about Black members of our community or beyond. She says teens are drawn to the Jefferson High School memory books.
There's educators that were students in here, and there's pictures of them. And sometimes they just want to kind of like browse themselves and look at the different placards, but sometimes it kind of initiates a conversation and you kind of get into something a little bit like deeper there.
According to Multnomah County, visits are up. Some 179,000 people visited the North Portland Library since reopening a year ago, with 6,300 of them attending one of the library's programs. And it's not just the North Library seeing the numbers go up. The new and improved Albina Library, about 1.5 miles away, has seen numbers go straight up. Both revitalization projects fall under a $387 million bond approved by voters in 2020, and both aim to reach people who have felt pushed out in the past by redlining and gentrification, but now feel recognized in their own community.
The library is for the community. It runs by the community, for the community. I think it's one of the big hearts that we have, and I would like to continue to see it keep beating.
Libby Dowsett, KGW News.
Coming up at 8, KGW Sunrise continues live on KGW Plus with a look back at the 2026 Winter Olympics, but not from just the athletes' point of view.
And we head to Italy one more time to meet just some of the people who also traveled there to represent their country.